76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Is that you? I'm the CEO of 5 different companies. I wasn't born into it. We lived on welfare, but I wanted more. I created this show, The School of Wealth, helping people escape poverty like I did. I want to help you out of that consumer debt, teach you how to increase your credit score, teach you how to make more money at your current job or your current business, and then how to actually create generational wealth without changing your lifestyle. It is going to be a lot of fun. This is not like regular school. Hey, I'm Rondi Lambeth, and this is The School of Wealth.
All right. That's probably cheesy, but I do love Matthew McConaughey. If you have not read or listened to Green Lights, you're missing out, my friend. It is an incredible book, and it's even better on Audible because Matthew McConaughey himself is the narrator. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I am in where am I at? Grand American Resort / hotel in Salt Lake City, Utah. You can check out the view of the room on the Instagram or the Facebook page. You can kind of check out the room. It's pretty cool. It is a tax deduction, and we can talk about tax deductions this afternoon if you'd like. We can talk about credit. We can talk about anything you want. So any questions that you have, post them in there. If you want to come on to the show with me live, do that. Write in your question, and if it's appropriate for the show, we'll bring you in live. So anyway, let's get started. So my name is Rondi Lambeth, CEO of Fortress Credit, America's first 100% paid on results credit repair companies. And what we do is we, for the last 14 years, have been helping people just like you, with families like yours, get out of debt, decrease their taxes, increase their credit scores, and build generational wealth. And we've been doing that, like I said, 14 years, and we've helped hundreds of thousands of people. I was going to say over 100,000, but it's way more than that. In my database alone, I got over 100,000 just on the credit repair side. So if you are a Fortress Credit Pro client, a couple things. If you just got started, you would have got an email about an hour ago welcoming you to the company to tell you a couple things. And if you're trying to fix your credit yourself, if you're trying to remove the inaccurate names and addresses, here's what you need to know. Anytime you send a dispute letter in, whether it's me that does it for you or you do it yourself, you need to have a copy of your driver's license, a copy of your social security card, and a current utility bill. And then every time you send in that letter, it needs to have those 3 documents. If you don't, you'll be ignored by the credit bureaus. So if you're a client of ours, make sure you provide us with those 3 documents. Otherwise, you're literally sending us to war with no bullets. And you might be thinking, well, why didn't the other credit repair company that I was paying monthly, regardless of results, I pay them every month, $100 a month. Why didn't they require that I provide those 3 documents? Well, it's because they're paid monthly, regardless of results. We're paid on performance, paid on success. And we want to get this done and over with as fast as possible so we can get you into that new house. All right, let's look at some of these questions. Let's see. Gino, thanks for the question. He says, what's the easiest and best way? In fact, there it is. Chastney, my lovely daughter, who's also the producer of The School of Wealth and the secret sauce behind the social media stuff that I do, that makes everything pretty grammar correct. That's my daughter, Chastney Lambeth. And if you guys don't follow her on Instagram, social media, I recommend it because she is amazing. You always know when it's me that posts, like last night. No, it was a couple days ago. I was in the sauna and I was posting and I spelt some word completely wrong. Granted, I had been in the sauna for 30 minutes at 151 degrees. My glasses were fogged over. I couldn't see shit from all the sweat in my face and eyes. And I spelt some word completely wrong. If it had been Chastity, it had been done right. So anyway, what is the easiest and best way to get your scores from the 3 credit bureaus? Easiest and best ways. Well, I mean, The easiest would be like Credit Karma. They'll give you 2. Just know Credit Karma is not a credit report site. They are a credit card affiliate site. They get paid to sell you credit cards. If you have credit cards like Discover, Chase, American Express, Barclays, Citibank, they give you a score for free. You can also get it from my company, either credithacks.com or creditmojo.com. So those are great places to go. So hopefully that answers your question. What's this? How long does it take to Sage AR? Dago Dion. I'm not sure. How long does it take to lock your Sage ARS, etc.? Don't know what that is. Sorry, man. I don't know. Hey, I appreciate all the love you guys are giving me, all these nice comments. Like, man, I like that one. That one's awesome. This one's awesome. All of them are awesome. Let's see here. I think I got somebody was in the chat room and I was going to bring them in, but now they're gone. I don't know where they went, but let's see here. It says, let's see what the rental property and how can you show a loss? I pay $85 a month for a couple to live in my home. All right. So I think what you're asking, Teresa, and if I'm wrong, then forgive me. I think you're saying, how can you show a loss? Well, if you're paying $85 a month, so if I get this right, let's say that it's your mortgage is $585 and rent's $500, you have a net loss of $85, then that would be a loss. But here's what most people don't realize with housing, and a lot of CPAs screw this up, by the way. TurboTax will most likely always screw this up. Let's say that your home is worth, for easy math, let's call it $400,000. $400,000, your rental property, just for easy math, okay? And I'm going to, let's actually make it $350,000. $350,000. So your house is worth $350,000. I don't know if Chastity, if there's any way we could put that on some screen. I don't know if you can do it that fast, but your house is worth $350,000. The land is worth $100,000. So if your house is worth $350,000, the land is $100,000. That would be $250K. So while Chastity works on that if she can, the house is $350,000. The land is $100,000. So house, land, the land that the house sits on. Okay. So if the house was $350,000 and the land was $100,000, then the house by itself is $250,000. You follow me on that? There it is. Perfect, Chastity. Look, man, she's amazing. I don't know if you can give me some thumbs up or likes or anything on this thing. I think you can, but if that makes sense, house is $350,000, land's $100,000, net is $250,000. Give me some thumbs up on it. Now, tax code allows, if it's a rental property, to depreciate the property over 25 years. Soda water, day 44 on 75 hard. Otherwise, it'd be a vodka water. But 31 days before I have any vodka. Okay, so house is $350,000, land is $100,000, $250,000 net. The IRS says you can depreciate the $250,000 over 25 years. So, Chas, if you can do that, $250,000 divided by 25 years equals $10,000 a year. $350,000 for the property, $100,000 for the land, because you can't depreciate land because land does never depreciates. But housing does. You got to replace the carpets, got to replace the air conditioner, the furnace, got to paint it, got to fix the roof, got to replace the windows, etc. But you never have to fix anything on the land. You can't like fix it. So you can't depreciate land, but you can depreciate the building. So now $250,000 building depreciates over 25 years. So your question, Teresa, how do you write off the house or whatever the loss is, right? You automatically have a $10,000 loss on that rental property. But did you really lose $10,000? Think about that. Did you really lose $10,000? No, you didn't lose $10,000. But on paper, on your tax return, you have a $10,000 loss. And that, my friend, is $10,000 that you, as a W-2 employee or as a 1099 employee or as a business owner, don't have to pay taxes on. And if you're in your 35% tax bracket plus your state, that's $4,000 or $5,000 that you don't have to pay in tax. But did you really lose $10,000? No, you did not. And this is why real estate is such a great investment. See, when I buy apartment complexes, we do something similar, but it's called cost segregation. And you probably heard me say that I haven't paid personal income tax in over a decade. It's not that I have all these fancy things. It's when you buy a $10 million apartment complex or a $20 million apartment complex, you get to rapid depreciate it. It's called cost segregation. So you get to write off every light switch, every light bulb, every curtain, every piece of molding. The literally engineering company comes in and they write off every single bolt, hinge, faucet, bulb, screw in the entire building. And you get the write-off that year. So the last apartment that I went in with Corey Peterson and we bought was like, I think $13 million in December. We got like a $4 million write-off that month. And it can carry forward. We didn't lose $4 million, but we were able to depreciate that rapid depreciation and then take the building over that 20-year period on top of that. So that hopefully that answers the question. Another one, how can you find the land values? That's a great question. If you look on your tax assessor's page, so if you go to, I don't know, Ada, I live in Ada County, so Ada County tax assessor, Idaho, whatever it is. I don't know what county the Salt Lake is where I'm at right now, but maybe Salt Lake County tax assessor. And you look up the property, it'll say what your land is assessed at. And the beautiful thing is it won't be $100,000 on a $350,000 house. Not even close. So that's a $10,000 write-off. Just a real clean example of that. All right, let's see if we got any more questions. Land is about, yeah, Dennis has got it right on the money. Land's about 20%. That's pretty accurate. The only reason I did 100,000, guys, is for easy math. If I'd had this question in the future, and if it wasn't a live broadcast, then I'd have these fancy slides and I'd done the math all right, and it had been $20,000, etc. But I didn't. So I just on the fly. All right. So it looks like that question got answered. Thank you so much, Dennis. I appreciate your question. I mean, your comment on that helps me, but you do have a question. I'm still waiting to get Equifax inquiries off my report. What's the expected time frame closing on new house April 30th? I'm assuming you're an active credit repair client with us. Generally, on Experian, it's within 7 days. Equifax is 14 days, and Transunion is about 28 days to have the inquiries removed. 7, 14, 28. So generally speaking, we have 100% of the inquiries removed in that first 30 days. But you're not going to know until we get the report in the mail. You got to add an extra week on top of that. However, if you go and pull your credit report, they probably won't be there. So if you wanted to pay an extra $20 to refresh your Credit Mojo credit report, you don't have to pay me $20. We have to pay the credit bureaus for that. 3 bureau, you can do that. Basti, you're unmuted. So Edna says, so great question. Let's see what Edna has to say. But yeah, Dennis, just check into that. They should be gone. It's usually about 2 weeks on Equifax, 7 days on Experian, 2 weeks Equifax, 28 days for Transunion. And then that's if we refresh the report, we'll see it. But you usually get stuff in the mail about a week later. Right there. Dennis, your update is March 5th. So March 5th is it. So All are removed except for Equifax. They probably just haven't updated yet. Let's see what Edna says. Oh, no. How to get a judgment collection off. I think this is supposed to say how to get a judgment or collection, because a judgment and collection are two different things. But I think I understand what you're saying. We remove judgment. Well, here, let's back up a little bit. A judgment is a public record. A collection is a collection account. Judgments generally are not reporting because of the 2000 and I need to look it up. I think it's 16 or 17 lawsuit, and the settlement was they wouldn't report the judgments for a year. So judgments aren't reporting right now. I haven't seen a judgment in 4 or 5 years. Collections, though, report all the time. And the way we get collections removed is we look for mistakes in the way it's being reported, and then we ask them to validate the debt. What does that mean? That means prove that you owe it and prove they have a legal right to collect it. And because most of them are junk buyers, they bought off a spreadsheet that can't prove that you owe it, and they can't prove that they have a legal right to collect it. So therefore, they have to delete it. The glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. So similar to that. Great question. Let's see if we got another question. Here it is. Edna says, is it a good idea to consolidate two HELOCs with credit cards to improve credit score? No. It will only hurt your credit if you take a HELOC and pay it off with credit cards. Why? Because it's going to max out the credit cards. And here's the other thing. Your HELOC could be reporting as a credit card, as a line of credit. So depending on how you bank. And that's the disadvantage, guys, of getting HELOCs, is sometimes your bank will report it as a line of credit, not as a home equity line of credit / mortgage. And so it shows up and FICO treats it like a credit card. And when it's maxed out, what happens to your score? Well, approximately every 10% that you put on a credit card or line of credit, your score goes down by 10 points. So not a good idea to pay off a line of credit with a credit card, and the interest rate is probably going to be a lot higher as well. I want to make sure that I didn't miss any questions above. I don't think so. Someone says the collection account based off a judgment. Okay. Yeah. So the collection, we would just, dispute it like normal, of whether it's a judgment or not. So that's the same thing. We'd ask for debt validation. They have to validate the debt. If they can't, they got to remove it. Okay. Not saying you don't owe the money. A good defense attorney doesn't say you didn't commit the crime. A good defense attorney finds flaws in how everything was handled, and he creates reasonable doubt. Okay. That's all we're doing, is create reasonable doubt on the accuracy of how it's being reported. Let's see here. Teresa has a question. It says, is there a benefit to stay in the program longer than 6 months? I think you're talking about the credit repair program. The benefit of that would be if you have items remaining. So on average, we get about 80 to 90% of all of the accounts that we dispute deleted in that first 5 to 6 months, 50% in 3 months, and then 80, 90% in that remaining 5, 6 months. If you had a remaining item and you wanted it deleted, maybe it's worth staying. I mean, we'd have to look at it. Now, if it's let's say it's a late payment from 4 years ago, and it's probably not worth it. I mean, if we get it deleted, great. I could tell you this. We're paid on performance, as you know. If it was all about the money, my answer would have been no. Don't do it. Don't do it, because then I got to spend more money if it goes over 6 months, right? Because I'm paying people to work on your account, and I don't charge you anything unless we get it deleted. So I'm not about the money. I'm about helping you. So it really just depends. 90% of our clients, though, are done in less than 6 months. Sorry, got a little itch on my nose. All right. You have 3 collections. So if it's been 6 months, Teresa, and you've had the 3 collections, we do have a debt settlement division. So we have a tax settlement division. We have a debt settlement division. We have a real estate division where we can place you with a real estate agent in all 50 states. We have a mortgage division where I can get you qualified. not pre-qualified. I can get you actually qualified for a mortgage in all 50 states. A lot of them are bank statement loans up to $2 million with only 10% down, up to $5 million with 20% down. How does that work? Well, if you have a business and the business grosses $100,000 a year, well, it looks like you make $1.2 million a year. No tax returns, no pay stubs, no income verification, all based off of your bank statements. And we do that. Back to the collections. If you have 3 collections on there and they have corrected all the misinformation and you owe the money, we can go and reach out to our settlement team. They can reach out to the collection company, settle that for pennies on the dollars. And then we have contracts with dozens of collection companies to have that removed once it's paid. So if that's something that you really want to get off of there and you do owe it, let us get it settled for you, save you some money. And due to COVID, it's like my favorite thing to say, due to COVID, the cool thing is you no longer have to pay income tax on the settled amount. Where it used to be, you had to pay ordinary income tax. So you settle the debt and then you have to pay 35, 50% tax. Due to COVID, don't have to do that. So I would say reach out to the team tomorrow and we'll introduce you to the debt settlement division. They can settle that debt. The likelihood of us getting it deleted once it's paid is extremely high. Okay, but first we want to try to get it deleted without paying it because maybe you don't owe it. But if you do, let's settle it for you. All right. Check that one out. Been with Fortress a while, deleted lots of bad info. Love it. Let's see. Let's go back up here. Someone says, am I offering debt relief? Yes, I have the debt settlement division that we can help you with that for collections and credit cards and charge-offs, repos, etc. This one says, I want to buy a home. How much is your consultation? We don't have a consultation on helping you buy a home. Not at all. So, yeah, just reach out to Chastity. Reach out the 1-800 number, which you see on the bottom right there, Monday 9 to 5. 1-800-475-7267. So reach out there, and then we can put you in touch with the mortgage banker licensed in all 50 states. And on the bank statement loan, there are some restrictions to that, but for the most part, you can get up to about up to $2 million with only 10% down, which is a pretty cool program. All right. How fast can you get business credit for the housing bloodbath? I hear you. I think it's coming. I think on duplexes and fourplexes, that's where we're going to see it. It's really unfortunate because those are mainly owned by, little investors, people like you and I. But they can't catch up that payment, and it's not their fault at all. And we're going to help them with their credit so we can get them back in the game. Hopefully, they pulled their money out. That's what smart investors do: is they refinance the moment they can. They refinance and they pull all their cash out, and now it's 100% bank money. Okay. So to answer your question, how fast? It really depends on your business, how much cash you have coming in, if you got any collateral, what your personal credit looks like, what your business credit looks like. If you don't have any, then building it. So it really depends on lots of things. I have people that have hundreds of thousands of dollars within weeks. I have people that have nothing within years because they simply just don't do anything. So it all depends. It's kind of like a personal trainer asking a personal trainer, how long will it take me to lose weight? How hard are you willing to work? Great question, though. Let's see. Can you speak more about not paying installment loans off early, rather pay it down? Yeah, you got it. Great question. So installment loans are loans that you take out for a period of time, 1 year to 10 years or whatever. So any type of loan with exception to a mortgage is generally an installment loan: a car loan, a student loan, a boat loan, an airplane, motorcycle, personal loan. They're installment loans. 4 years at $400 a month at 4% interest. That's an installment loan. As you pay down your installment loan, your score goes up. The more payments you make on that installment loan, the higher the score goes. Once you've hit 2 years of positive payment history, score skyrockets. Why? because 90% of all late payments happen in the first 2 years. 90% of the late payments happen within the first 2 years of an account being open. So once you hit that 2-year mark, your scores will skyrocket because the likelihood of you being late now is much lower. And what we want to do with this $1 a month program is we want to pay that loan down as fast as possible without paying the mortgage off. Or I'm sorry, not the mortgage, the car loan, the installment loan off. See, when you're live and I got no teleprompter and I'm just shooting from the hip, if you will, sometimes I screw up. So you just got to live with that. So what we want to do is we want to take that installment loan, we want to pay it down, but not pay it off. See, when you pay it off, it will then show up as closed, which then lowers your credit score because now you don't have the history. And 15% of your score is based on average length of history. This is one of the things I see a lot with my wealthy friends and clients. They always buy cars. They're constantly buying cars. They get it. They drive it for 6 months. They sell it. They flip it. They get a new Ferrari, a new Bentley, a new Rolls. They're flipping, but they're using their personal credit to buy it. So they got 3 to 6 month accounts. 15%, roughly 75 points, is average length of credit history. And so when you're flipping and paying off these car loans very quickly, your score goes down. So we want to keep that loan open as long as possible. So here is the hack. Let's say it's $5,000 left on your loan. You got 3 years to go. You pay it down to $360, and then you pay $10 a month for the next 36 months. Or you pay it down to $36 and you pay $1 a month for the next 36 months. All of those payments will be reported. FICO then will jack your score up because it looks like you've made all these payments. Your balance is much lower. You're past the 2 years. The likelihood of being late is slim to none. Up goes the score. So that's the strategy of $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month. Doesn't matter. Just don't pay it off early. Now, a couple things. Number one, you cannot be on automatic payment, ACH, where they automatically take the payment out every month out of your checking account. That'll screw it up. So you can't do that. Number two, don't call your bank and ask them if you can do this. You know what they're going to say? No, you cannot do this. Why would a bank tell you no? One, because they're uneducated and they don't know any better. Two, they don't want you to do it because now you're only paying interest on $30, $40, $50 versus $3, $4, $5 grand. So this is a hack. Lowers your interest, increases your scores, which means lower interest in the future. Great question. What's this say? Where should we follow you on credit repair videos? I would say Facebook, YouTube. Chastity just put it up there. YouTube's great. Put it up there, Chast. YouTube's great. And Instagram's great. If you really want long format videos, stuff that's kind of put together in a good way, that would be YouTube. So my YouTube channel, Rondi Lambeth. And I just got my green screen set up, by the way. So I start recording next week. Not sure what Chastity's showing, but oh yeah, there's my YouTube channel. Yep. So the YouTube channel there. So all right. Oh, back to the judgment. Debt buyers bought the debt, filed judgment against you, and placed it on your credit. Yeah. So I think probably with judgments, here's what has to happen with those. We need to settle that for you, or you need to do it. So we find there's two types of people when it comes to money, credit, and time. And that is you either have the money or you have the time. Very rarely do you have the money and the time to negotiate this stuff on your own, or the experience or the time it takes to get experience. Now, if you're stay at home, you got all the time in the world, do it on your own. But I'll tell you this, generally speaking, we're going to do it for you at the same cost or below what you're going to negotiate, because they're going to beat you up. With us, they know that we're professional. We know that we have the money, and we're like, hey, we'll give you 20%. And they're like, okay, cool. Wire it over. We'll get it deleted. Done. Where you're going to go back and forth and fight them. Okay. So on judgments, if you know you owe them because they got judgment, it ain't ever going away. There is no statute of limitations on debt. It ain't ever going away. You either pay it or you file bankruptcy. That's it on debt. There's a statute of limitations on how long they can report it, but there's not on how long they can collect it. So I'd recommend reach out to the team. The phone number's there, and we'll get you in touch with the debt settlement division. They'll just reach out to whoever bought that judgment, offer them pennies, settle it, get it deleted, take care of it. Let's see what this one says. The collection of my TransUnion report disputed 4 rounds already, and they won't budge. Can I help? Yes, I wish you would have called me 4 months ago because you just made my job 4 or 5 times harder. And I should charge you more for it, but I'm not going to. So yeah, so when you disputed that, you most likely disputed it in a way that they could verify what you were saying. See, we're going to dispute it in a different way. We don't make statements, we ask questions. And because we asked a question, they have to respond with an answer. Generally, they violate the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act with their answer. And therefore, the debt is no longer, they can no longer collect on it, and they can no longer report it. So we have a little bit different strategy. Think about it as a defense attorney, a very, very inexpensive defense attorney. Imagine if O.J. Simpson went in and he's like, yeah, I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to save the money. I got this. I don't need an attorney. I got it. Yeah, we know where he'd be right now, right? He wouldn't be hanging out with me on New Year's Eve. That was 3 years ago, by the way. I got hammered with OJ. I know some of you. I think that picture that I did, I got more hate on that picture than any other picture I've ever put on social media of OJ and I hanging out. I mean, I got some serious hate that night. Let's see if I got a picture of it right here. I'll show you guys. Get some more hate with OJ. Let's see here. Where's Mr. OJ? Have you guys ever seen this picture? Let's see where he's at. And then I'll get some more questions here. Maybe he's not in my favorites anymore. I had OJ in my favorites, but maybe I took him out. But how about this one? You guys recognize that person? That was fun. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to this live. I was looking for the picture of OJ, and you could probably good that I don't show you because I was really drunk at that time. So anyway, I own a 2013 Toyota. Owe too much. Credit score is good. Should I refi? I don't know. What's the interest rate? Cedric, what's the interest rate on the refi? Let me know on that. Should we open? Good question, Kevin. Should we open new accounts on loans while going through the credit repair? The only accounts that I'd recommend that you open are the 3 to 5 secured credit cards, which you can get at fortresscreditpro.com /credit-cards. So fortresscreditpro.com credit cards. Those are the only accounts that I recommend that you open. Everything else, wait until after the credit repair process so you get the lowest interest rate. Secured credit cards doesn't matter on the interest rate. I don't care if it's 3,000%. Why doesn't it matter? Because you're not going to carry a balance and you're not going to pay interest on a credit card. See, if you pay the credit card off in full every month, there's no interest. So if it doesn't mean it's 3,000,000%, it doesn't matter because it's paid off in full every month. Whereas a loan, you'd have to pay off the loan. And then what does that do to your scores? It lowers your credit scores. So great question. Wait on loans. You can get a credit cards anytime. And secured credit cards are probably your best way to go. Again, Cedric Carr, if you could answer the question on the refi. I'll tell you this. 19%. Oh, my God. Yes. Yes, if your credit scores are good, yes. Refinance your car tomorrow. Yes, you're probably going to have to come up with a couple grand to get it down to the what you owe on or what it's worth. Okay, but it's going to be worth it. All right. Here's why. If you got good credit over 720, 740, somewhere in there, you should be able to refinance that for about 3%. I just refinanced my truck a few months ago in December. I think I'm at 2.9. I bought a brand new Jeep. I got it in December. And I bought it through the dealership. I saved like 20-something $1,000 by doing it through their lender. They tried raking me over, you know what I mean? At like 7.5% interest. And I generally have between a 740 and 800 credit score. At the time I was 807. I'm like, whatever, dude. If you're going to save me 20 grand on the Jeep, I'll finance it. And then they did some really shady stuff. So I went in the next day. I got the Jeep on like a Monday. On Tuesday, I went down to the credit union, refinanced it, 2.9% interest, and never made a payment to Chase Bank. So did that affect my credit? Yeah, because I have a loan on there. But guess what? I know how to remove the loan. So I don't even know if it's on my credit report anymore. So anyway, great question. Let's see if we got any more here. Doing a great job, Chastity. What's the best way? I think you mean to say, what's the best way to get a car loan if I owe 2 to 3 times more than it's worth? Dude, that's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. So you're going to have to pay it down to less than 1 times what it's worth. So if it's a $10,000 car and you owe 30 grand, dude, I don't know anybody that's going to loan you 30 grand on a $10,000 car. That's like this guy. I got to show you guys. Well, I'm going to show you guys. We're family, right? Check this out. This dude right here posted something. I want to show you something. I want to show you how to recognize something, a scam. It's not all about credit. Where'd it go? Here it is. By the way, I screenshotted this, sent it to my SEC attorney because I have an SEC attorney because I raise millions of dollars every year to buy apartment complexes, and I do it the right way. So I sent it to him. He goes, interesting. There's a whole bunch of felonies in there. So we'll see if he gets investigated. But I'm working with the companies looking for $60,000 short-term loan. Guaranteed return, $180,000 in 14 days or less. This company is looking for 60 grand, but they can give you a 300% return in 2 weeks or less. Comes with 2 promissory guarantees. Big deal. This company's worth $66 million. If they're fucking worth $66 million, why are you asking for a $60,000 short-term loan? Give me a break. That is scam all day long. 47 comments. Almost all of them were like, I got cash. I got cash. So, James, maybe find this guy, Sean Christopher, and look at those comments. Maybe one of these dudes in there will give you $30,000 for your $10,000 car. I don't know. So I sent this dude a message. I said, email me to PPM. Guess what? I never got a PPM. Why? Because they're running a scam. Anyway, there we go. Let's see. What do we got going on here? The things I do. And you guys always thought I was drunk all the time doing this crazy shit. I wasn't. All right, here it is. What time is the best time to call the team? Called last Friday late afternoon, left a message. Yeah, I would call Gene, if you DM me your message, tell me what time to have someone call you. The best time to call would be 9 a.m. to say 4 p.m. Pacific Standard, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard, Monday through Friday. That's the best time. But if you DM me your phone number and the time that you want someone to call you, I'll just have somebody call you. Okay. They'll reach out. They'll take care of you. Okay. So, but that's the best time. 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard. Okay. Are hard inquiries not tied to an open account's removable? Yeah. Yes. So hold on a second. I got to text my roommate. My girlfriend is texting me downstairs. She's back from the whatever she was doing. So here's the thing on hard inquiries. If it's for a car or a boat or installment loan, we can work on the hard inquiries. If it's for a credit card that you actually opened, so if you apply for a Chase card and you got the Chase card, if we dispute it, most likely it's going to get closed. And so we never want to dispute or get a hard inquiry that is attached to an open credit card. We don't want to work on those because we don't want to get that account closed on you. Okay. Great question. Negotiate a settlement on a credit card account. Do they usually close the card? Yeah. Yeah. So in order to settle on a credit card, you're going to have to go late. Generally 90 days late. Because in order for them to get their default insurance, that's the insurance that pays them for what you don't pay. So you owe them $100,000. We settle it for 30. They file an insurance claim. They get 70. So they still get their $100,000. That's how it works with the banks. Banks don't lose money generally. So, but in order to settle the debt, you're going to have to go late. Otherwise, they're never going to settle with you. Then you go late, and then you got to work with, you don't have to work with us, but if you work with us, we'll work on getting it removed for you. Okay. And generally we do. All right. I don't know if I missed any other questions. Yeah, I think that's all of them. So, what's this one? What is the proper order disputing? I don't know what you mean. I can tell you what we do. And I don't even know how many. I used to like share every little detail. I don't do so much anymore. I don't know how many credit repair companies got started from my Facebook Lives and my trainings that were just become competitions. And really, it doesn't really matter because they charge per month, not per item. So there's really no competition. But what's the proper order? Here's what we do is we first dispute the inaccurate names and addresses and clean up the personal data. And then we go after the accounts. We go to the credit bureaus first. And what we do, a lot of credit repair companies don't, is we actually dispute directly with the creditor. Why would another company not do that? Because it costs a lot to do that. And so we dispute with the credit bureaus and the creditors, the collection companies, the judgments, the courthouses, etc. So that's the proper way to do it. Look at this. Not a question, but that's a cool comment. Look at that. Love seeing this stuff. Fortress is awesome. And I've increased my score by 80 points. That's awesome. AH says, I have another one. I don't remember what the other one is. I don't know what that is, but awesome. Thank you so much, Colin, for that. So AH, if you're still on, oh, you're on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube and you're watching and you said, I have another one, maybe you have another question. If so, just type that in and I'll answer it. Here it is. In disputing old collections, let me pull it up. I keep forgetting I can pull this up. Oh, where'd it go? Wrong one. All right. I'm going to get to you, Troy, next. In disputing old collections tied to old addresses, will providing you with an updated address help? Yes. 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 This is why we require current utility bills. Nobody else does this. Why? Because you can pay them $100 a month to dick around on your file. They don't get paid on success. They get paid to try to fix your credit, to practice We should call them credit doctors because they're practicing. We don't get paid to practice. We get paid to deliver results. So one of our strategies is to use the address, dispute the old address. If the collection is attached to the old address, guess what? Collection goes away. Pretty cool. So yes, every 30 to 45 days, give us a new utility bill. It will drastically increase your credit score. Oh, I worked with Toy to set up an account last week. Sounded extremely positive about getting a couple items removed. Very excited. Things rolling. Happy, super happy. Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Toy is great. Toy is my other daughter, by the way. She's the shorter version of Chastity. Do you think you should ask Furniture to report all 3 bureaus? Or I'm assuming you mean that you have an account, an active good account, and you're asking if you should report to all 3 bureaus. You can ask, but it's not going to do any good because they don't want to pay for it. If they're not reporting to all 3 bureaus, it's because they don't want to pay all 3 bureaus. So you got to pay. It's like a membership, and you got to pay per line. So they're trying to save money, so they're only reporting to the 1 or 2. So that's why they're not reporting, is because it's expensive, right? So I wouldn't even bother asking them because they ain't going to do it. AH says he's calling tomorrow. Cool. Thank you. All right, let's see what this one is. Back to the credit hack with the car loan. Once I pay it down and try to pay $1 a month, you still have to pay minimum. Could be way higher. That is a great comment. So here's how it works. Okay. Here is how it works. You have a minimum payment. So let's say you owe $30,000 on a car. You pay it down to $500. When you make extra payments and you just send a check to the bank, your payment's $500 a month and you send $1,000. They take that other $500 and they just apply it to next month's payment. So when you get your statement, it's going to say minimum payment due $500. Due date, it's no longer March, it's now April, because in February you paid 2 payments. See how that works? If you want to test it, send 3 payments, send 3 times your normal payment and look at your statement. If I had it here, I would show it to you. In fact, what we're going to do, I'm starting to record all my courses. We're redoing at Fortress University. I start recording next week. I'll make sure that I have one of those in there for the courses so you can actually see one of my statements every month. But what happens is when you pay it ahead by paying extra, they just push the payments down the road. And so like on my Ferrari, for example, I'm like 8-9 years ahead of schedule. So if you look at it, hold on a second. I think someone's ringing my door. Hold on. Come on in. There's actually a doorbell in this suite here at the Grand American Hotel in Salt Lake. I thought maybe it's something on LinkedIn or something popping up. Anyway, so your payments will be due. They'll actually get pushed out. So you can give that a question or give that a try. What's it say? Oh, I am a veteran and I am a former firefighter. Oh, let's see what this says. The DRA, the debt reduction application. Yeah, so that's, we took that program down. So just reach out to us directly. I'll put it back up. I don't know if you noticed, but the website's completely different. The Rondi Lambeth page and then the Fortress page is getting rebuilt right now. So we took a lot of links down and we're rebuilding them. You'll see that. But yes, reach out, Chase, for the debt settlement stuff. Just reach out to us in chat. In fact, Chastity, go ahead and tag Chase. I think he's already in Infusionsoft. Tag him and then send me a Slack and we'll have Tina reach out to him. Okay. Or you can just reach out to us, Chase. All right. I'm not going to, I'd love to explain Metro 2, but I don't have enough time today to explain that. So I'll do that on a different one. How about an open credit account with 30/60 times 6 can remove it? There's nothing on a credit report that we haven't removed. So legally, the way you ask that question, I legally can't answer it. It's like going to a doctor saying, I got cancer. Can you guarantee I won't have it? There's no guarantee, right? I can tell you this. We've deleted tens of thousands of open credit cards with late payments on it. Many, 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 many times. Okay. Do I believe there'll be any debt forgiveness because of COVID? Yeah, they're already doing it. I mean, look at the PPP loan stuff. I mean, I just filled my paperwork out to get my PPP loans forgiven. And it was one page. It was like, did you use this money to pay your employees? Yes. If so, how much did you pay? And you write in how much, and you sign it and date it. And that's it. It was going to be like this whole drawn out thing. And now it's like, did you use the money, pay employees? How much? So yeah, I think there will be. As far as like wiping out student loans, I don't think that's ever going to happen. And the reason why, it's 33% of our GDP. Our country relies on the interest of student loans. Even though 50% of people are not paying it, a lot of our government programs are paid for with student loan interest. So a lot of this free stuff they give to people is paid for through interest collected from student loans, to add insult to injury. Let's see. How long you been doing? Oh, how you doing? Been signed up with your company for a while. I had a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Y'all had all exception of the banks that came off Equifax. Oh, okay. So sometimes what happens, I think I read this right, is the bankruptcy come off, all of them, or one of them, but not the other two or whatever. Sometimes they just won't budget. Sometimes they correct the information. Here's the thing is, for years, I left my bankruptcy. I purposely left my bankruptcy on my credit report to show people that you can still have a high 700 credit score with a bankruptcy as long as you rebuild. So make sure you have at least 3 credit cards, 1 installment loan, preferably a mortgage, and keep your credit balances below 10%. And the bankruptcy, once it hits about 4 years, it really has no impact on your score. It starts out with 50 points, and then every year drops by 5 points. So starts out at 50, and then every year drops by 5. So if it's 3 years old, you've already gained 15 points back. And here's the other thing. When you go to apply for loans, you got to still tell them you filed bankruptcy. So it's one of those things where sometimes they come off, sometimes they don't. Can inquiries? Yes. In fact, we do this all the time with check systems. So you're on YouTube. Hopefully you're still on. Yes. So inquiries on check systems. What is check systems? That is the credit reporting on how you write checks. And there are inquiries on there, and there's other things. But can you remove it? Yes, you can remove it. They are a credit bureau. You just didn't know about them for most people. So it's the same thing. Still got to follow Fair Credit Report Act. You still want to send in a copy of your check system credit report. Circle the items you're disputing, why you're disputing it, copy of your driver's license, social security card, utility bill. Send it to them. They got 30 days to fix it or delete it. Will removing accounts or inquiries impact reduction of one's credit score? Removing inquiries will not have a negative impact on your score whatsoever. It would only go up. Removing accounts could lower your score. So, for example, let's say that you got an account and it's been on your credit for 10 years. Perfect payment history except for 1 month. And 4 years ago, you missed a payment. If I disputed that account and got it deleted, I guarantee you your score would go down, which is why at my company, we would say, look, Gino, I know you want to get rid of the late payment, but if we dispute it, your score is going to go down. So how about we just leave it alone? After 4 years, it just goes away. It's still on there, but it doesn't matter. It's better just to leave it alone. Do you have discounts for police and firefighters? I have discounts for veterans, but you know what? Yeah, we'll give you the same discount. If you're a policeman or a firefighter, just tell them that Rondi said, do you get the veterans discount? It's the only time we ever give discounts is for veterans. But hey, Chastney, put that in Slack on the sales channel, that same discount, 10% discount for firefighters, police officers, and nurses. Roy says, do we help with business credit? Yes, we have an entire business credit division where we teach you the ins and outs of business credit, step by step, move by move, all video training on how to establish business credit. The new program that's coming out in the next maybe 2 months, that'll be the last thing I record, is got a guaranteed $50,000 in credit cards. Guaranteed program, 50,000 minimum. So that's coming out. But the current guarantee is we'll do our best. But essentially, we teach you how to do it. There's no guarantee on how many credit cards you're going to get because we don't know if you're even going to do the program. It's like guaranteeing you're going to lose weight if you get a gym membership. You got to come to the gym. Okay. Small business owner at $50,000 line of credit. I did a $1.6 million sale last year. Can you help me get a higher line of credit? Yeah, so you would do that. Generally, the lines of credit that we get our clients are generally $100,000, and the reason they're $100,000, and that's why we specialize in $100,000 lines, is because most banks don't ask for financials if it's $100,000 or less. They'll pretty much give it to you as long as you have good business credit. They're going to give that to you. So if you did 1.6 million in sales, that's great. The bank's going to want to see you using that full $50,000. So what I would recommend that you do is take the $50,000 line of credit, max it out on bills that you would normally pay with your checking account, and then let it sit for 1 month. And, so it shows, the bank sees that it's maxed out, and then go pay it off. Then go in, meet with your banker and say, hey, I'd like a larger line of credit. 50,000 is not enough. Can you double it? And they will most likely double it. They're not going to double it, though, unless you max out that 50,000. There's no reason for them to do it because you haven't showed them the need. Same thing goes with business credit cards, guys. They're not going to increase your business credit card lines unless you show them the need. So just pay your bills 1 month with the line of credit, max it out, pay it off with your operating expenses or operating account so you're not paying interest, and then go in and ask for it. Why do you prefer the mortgage over the car loan for installment loan? Yes, that's a great question because mortgages are not installment loans. Mortgages are mortgages. They're loans, but it's actually a separate description on your credit report. It is actually a mortgage, where an installment loan is an installment loan. Completely different the way it's on your credit report and how it impacts your credit score. Okay. That hack that I told you about, paying it down and paying $1 a month, that will not work on a mortgage. It will not work on a mortgage. It only works on installment loans because the mortgage is due every single month, regardless of what the principal is. Okay. So it will not work on a mortgage. If missing a due date on a credit card by 1 day counts as a late payment. Nope. You actually have like 30-day grace period in there, 29 days. So let's say your payment's due on the 15th and you pay on the 16th. That's not late. It won't be late until like the 14th of the following month. Generally speaking, on most accounts, that's how it works. All right, generally. Now on mortgages, if it's due on the 1st, you're paying in arrears. So you're already technically 30 days behind on the mortgage. But on car loans, credit cards, lines of credit, installment loans, generally speaking, you have a 30-day grace period to make that. So I don't recommend you pay it late because then you pay penalties and fees and extra interest. But generally, it's not going to report you late if you missed it by 1 day. So not to stress too much. I don't see any more questions. We'll see if any more comes in here. If not, it's been 59 minutes since I've been on here live. So I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate all these questions. They're great. They're really good. Chastity, if I missed anything, put it on there, but I don't think so. I think I got them all, guys. So next Thursday, I'll be live again, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Tell your friends, tell your family, share the video on your feeds. I'd appreciate it. And then if you want like daily stuff, Instagram's a great place to follow me. The YouTube. Oh, I sound like a freaking old person. The YouTube. The Google box. The Googler. Follow me on any of the social, but yeah, I post a little bit different on every social. So YouTube is more formatted videos. Instagram's just kind of random. So is Facebook. So, all right. Appreciate all you guys. That's a wrap. We'll see you all later.